Welcome to the second module of functions of several variables. After having seen the fundamentals of partial differentiation and the determination of first and second order partial derivatives, we now embark upon the concept of total differential coefficient. Now, we know that when we talk about partial derivative of z with respect to x, we keep the variable y constant and then explore how z changes with respect to x. Likewise, when we talk about dou z by dou y, we try to observe the change of z along the y direction, holding the variable x constant. But suppose you would like to observe the total change of z in all the variables x, y, and z, where x, y, and z are again depending upon a parameter t. So in order to talk about total differential coefficient, one must have the dependence of z with respect to x and y, where x and y are further depending upon a parameter t. So for this, we apply what is known as the chain rule of differentiation. So let us assume u is a function of x and y, where x and y are functions of a parameter t. So then the rate of change of u with respect to t, denoted by du by dt, is dou u by dou x into dx by dt plus dou u by dou y into dy by dt. Likewise, when u depends upon three variables x, y, and z, where x and y are functions of a parameter t, you just have to extend the chain rule to three variables. Now, let us talk about the differentiation of implicit functions. Now, we know that there are two types of functions that can be mathematically expressed. One is to express the function explicitly, like u as a function of x and y, or z as a function of x and y. But sometimes this separation will yield very complicated relations, in which case we don't attempt to do that. Then we retain z, x, and y together in the same function, so that such a representation will be called an implicit representation. Obviously, handling implicit functions will be difficult, but however, we can still achieve the desired goal. For example, if z is equal to f of xy or f of xyz is equal to 0 is given to you, and we want to find dy by dx, at the rate of change of y with respect to x, then we can apply the total derivative rule, and then we can get the result of dy by dx is equal to minus times the ratio of dou f by dou x and dou f by dou y, provided dou f by dou y does not vanish. This is a very famous principle by which we can find the derivative of y with respect to x in terms of the partial derivatives. Now, the same thing can be extended in different ways, but let us go through some examples and actually see how to handle total derivatives. Now, in the first example, we have z as a function of x and y expressed as x square y plus 3x y power 4, where the variable x is connected to t as sin 2t and the variable y is connected to t as cos t. Suppose the goal is to find the rate of change of z with respect to t, dz by dt, when t is equal to 0. So first we invoke the chain rule, dz by dt is equal to dou z by dou x into dx by dt plus dou z by dou y into dy by dt. So using z is equal to x square y plus 3x y power 4, you get dou z by dou x. Similarly, you also get dou z by dou y. And using x is equal to sin 2t, you get dx by dt as 2 cos 2t. And using y is equal to cos t, you get dy by dt as minus sin t. And then you plug in into the right hand side of the equation. And then you can leave it at that point. Of course, we have to substitute t is equal to 0. When t is equal to 0, you can find that x becomes 0 because sin 0 is 0, whereas y becomes 1 because cos 0 is 1. and you can substitute these values on the right hand side, and ultimately you get dz by dt is equal to 6. So which means that the rate at which z is changing with respect to t, taking into the account the contributions of x and y directions, is totally 6. So it's varying at that particular rate. The second example is a little bit practical. So we are given that the sides of a rectangle, which are 4 feet and 3 feet respectively, they are increasing at the rate of 1.5 feet per second and 0.5 feet per second. So we are now aware that as the dimensions change, the area also changes. Because the sides are expanding, the area also expands. So you start with the area formula for a rectangle. You call it z. Z is equal to x into y, and then you can have dz by dt as dou z by dou x into dx by dt plus dou z by dou y into dy by dt, where dx by dt and dy by dt are the rates of changes of the length and width of the rectangle, which are already provided as 1.5 and 0.5. So you use all the data available for you, plug in the values, and you get 6.5 square feet per second. So the area is increasing at this particular rate for those dimensions and for those rates of increase in the dimensions. This is a similar problem where we talk about the pressure P expressed as PV is equal to 8.31 times T, where T is the temperature, V is the volume, and P is the pressure. So data is given. You just have to begin with the equation which is given to you. That is PV is equal to 8.31 times T. The question is to find the rate at which the pressure is changing. So you can take P as a function of T and V, and then you just take the total derivative of P with respect to T using the chain rule, plug in the values, and you get the pressure change as 0.042 kilopascals per second. Now, the next question is slightly interesting. Find the total differential coefficient of x square y with respect to x, where x and y are connected by the implicit equation x square plus xy plus y square is equal to 1. So we want to compute dz by dx. So dz by dx by the chain rule is dou z by dou x into dx by dx, which you can't see because that will be anyway 1, plus dou z by dou y into dy by dx. So you just determine that. So the unknown quantity is dy by dx. So to find out dy by dx, please refer to the principle already explained. Dy by dx is given by minus dou f by dou x divided by dou f by dou y, and then you can plug in that into the equation number 1, and you can get the rate of change dz by dx as 2xy minus x square times 2x plus y by 2y by x, 2y plus x. Then comes example number 5, which can be solved actually in two different ways. U is a function of x and y. X and y are both functions of t, and we would like to find du by dt in terms of t. So just apply the chain rule of differentiation. This has been done without any complication. And then when you plug in, of course, careful differentiation is very, very important. And then you get the desired result. Of course, you can also do this problem by replacing x with sine t, t with sine theta. Therefore, the problem becomes extremely simple, but that will take you away from the chain rule. Therefore, it has not been suggested. Question number 6 is an advanced total differential coefficient concept, because here z is a function of x and y. X and y are both functions of two parameters, s and t. So we are to determine dou z by dou s and dou z by dou t. So the chain rule continues to be similar, except that all the derivatives are partial. So you just set up the rule and then plug in the partial derivatives, and then you get the desired results. It is always desirable to express the output in terms of the parameters. Question number 7 is again a very easy approach to solve this problem. Looks a little bit difficult, but very easy to manage. So we've got u is a function of 2x minus 3y, 3y minus 4z, 4z minus 2x. And then we have to establish one result there. So what you do is you can give substitutions for 2x minus 3y, 3y minus 4z, 4z minus 2x as some rs and t, so that u is a function of rs and t, where rs and t are functions of x, y, and z. So you set up the chain rule for all the three cases, that is dou u by dou x, dou u by dou y, and dou u by dou z, and then plug into the right hand side of the chain rules, and without much difficulty you can establish the result. Question number 8 is similar. You have to replace e power y minus z, e power z minus x, e power x minus y into new variables. We are calling it capital X, capital Y, capital Z, or any other new variables like PQR, and then use the chain rule and then get the result. Then question number 9 is an advanced problem where x and y are expressed in terms of polar variables r and theta, and you are asked to establish a result here consisting of first order partial derivatives and second order partial derivatives. What is very important is it is to be assumed that u is a function of x and y, where x and y are functions of the parameters r and theta. So you'll have to apply the chain rule at two levels, at the first order level as well as the second order level. You have to be extremely cautious with the second order level, dou square u by dou theta squared, which is dou by dou theta of dou u by dou theta. Please observe the critical operations which have been explained. So 2 and 3 have to be done very, very carefully, equations 2 and 3, and then you just sum them up and then you get the desired result. So I would advise that question number 9 should be taken a bit seriously. And then we've got question number 10, in which we have got a function, let us say f of xy, where x and y are connected to two new variables u and v. So what can also be imagined is f is a function of u and v, where u and v are functions of x and y. So you set up the chain rules accordingly, like dou u by dou y, then we get the dou f by dou x out of that by the chain rule. Similarly, dou f by dou y by the chain rule, and therefore you just have to build those equations, and then set up. You can easily verify dou f by dou x is u times dou f by dou u plus v times dou f by dou v. Similarly, dou f by dou y is minus v times dou f by dou u plus u times dou f by dou v. So compared to the 9th problem, I think the 10th is much more straightforward because it only involves first order total derivatives. There are a few examples that you can try out, and I hope you will easily get through the results for all these problems. So among these, we can rate that questions number 5 and 6 should require more attention. So total differential coefficient is a very valuable concept, and it is widely used in all engineering branches.